Alright, what's up yins guys? Time for another video. Another video where I talk about the real life Yu-Gi-Oh cards people play. And disclaimer, once again, this is not about the card game that does anybody even play anymore. This is about the real life bullshit as metaphor, and Yu-Gi-Oh can be the best metaphor since the Matrix is being a metaphor for the world. But anyway, this one, they call it the Princess card. It's very much like the Cute card. I'm going to talk about, since I'm talking about the Princess card, there's a male version of this. It's different. You got I can also call this the Queen shit card. People think they're Queen shit. Well, there's the guys too that think they're King shit. And these people come in all walks of life. They can be God-spoiled brats, you know, like in the yuppie churches or whatever. Somebody's they were spoiled brat and cute since they were a baby, and then it's like they're related to somebody, and if they're in the church, people are compelled to give them things, free money. Oh, I want to do this for the Lord. You know, you got the male and the female version of this. Well, you got what we already know, the social media influencers, which it's all over YouTube, the ones that people get tired of after a while and get exposed as frauds, and they take their shit even farther and trying to crowdfund some really ridiculous shit, and people were dumb enough to give it to them. And their whole life is based on, a lot of men are actually looking, don't even know them one way or another, and they're dumb enough to give them money, and anybody questions them, social media, they'll get like harassed, because men are looking at them like, you know, that's all it is, and other women are actually looking at them like, you know, like just like a big fraud or whatever. And they think that they're entitled to everything. They never had to pursue anything in their life. And when social media came into being, you know, that got like huge. Some of these end up being like, because sometimes they end up the party or drinking crowd, sometimes they can wind up in the wrong parties and be in the loser bars, which all these guys always gathered around them because they think something or whatever the hell. But they, in the loser bar crowd, they actually think they're entitled to everything, everybody buying them drinks, and they think that because they're hot shit, they have their own goon squad or thug squad. But then there was the, they're in religion, and there was the stories like a couple years ago, I did a video on this too, the former Miss Pennsylvania got busted, like, you know, in a case like that, they're getting endorsements and free stuff for everything, and then, I don't know, that novelty wore off, and what were they gonna, they're figuring where would they go from here, right? And so she faked getting cancer, and even fooled her own family, sit in a lobby of a hospital or whatever, and got people all over to give them all kind of money, and then they end up getting busted. So it compels people that if they can't do shit on social media, they get, from the day they're born, they're addicted to giving things. They can be God-spoiled brats, they can be secular spoiled brats, they can be social justice spoiled brats, they come in all races and everything like that, and then when the shit runs out, they don't have any real, what do you call it, no motivation to pursue anything else in life, because it's easier to have things handed to them, and then deceive people or do the cute thing or whatever the hell, but they grow up entitled, and then they look down on everybody else. Like, they almost think that everybody else should have everything but them, you know, too. You know, they'll, in their fake status, which actually crumbles or whatever, crumbles in time. And then, of course, they gotta be two-faced or multi-faced and change with the times, too, because they know their time is up. You know, aging is one of their biggest fears, just like in the, where they were talking about Mr. or Mrs. Irresistible in the BS Syndrome book that I showing you guys. Oh, and there's in social media and other parts of the world too. They have this fear of people get tired of them, and if all kind of men are looking at them or guys are looking at them, they're worried. How the world out there is that people are going to get tired of them, and they're going to lose their fake grandeur, and they go to worship somebody else. The masses will go to worship somebody else, so they got to be multi-faced and interchangeable chameleons, if you will, to try to keep the status that they're addicted to, and it ultimately, fails in time. You know what I mean? So, and another part that dovetails into this, and I'm not attacking anybody because of their personal choice if they want to identify as a woman and they're not a guy, or they're tired of being a guy, or they identify, or they think they were this or that, or some girl that wants to identify as something the opposite. And I'm not saying this about everybody because they're transgender, but you're not even allowed to imply anything these days. You know what I mean? Too. Well, some of the the transgender types. Some people will say, I'm not bashing them all. That's their personal choice. I don't give a shit. Matter of fact, if you want to identify as, I don't give a shit. I got my life and your life, yours. But part of this, too, is some people see these women, the princess syndrome, and instead of, being Mr. Good Looking or whatever, it doesn't go over for them. Or some of them start out as Mr. Good Looking and all that, and they want it all, right? And they see the women, say whether it's in the bars or whatever, guys that want to open doors or open car doors for them, buy them drinks, and they see all the women, whether it's social media or anywhere, compelled to give them things. You know what I mean? And there'll be a guy out there writing, whether he's like Mr. King Shit or good looking, entitled or not, he'll say, "Oh, why do anything like a man or anything else?" I mean, and they'll even see, the women sometimes can be a victim when they're intellectually cornered on something, and then they'll cave, and then a lot of times I'll ask the simple question, and they go cry, and, "Oh, you're picking on them," and then a bunch of guys, because they think they're going to get laid, will actually want to get into it, you know what I mean? Be white knight. And okay, and these guys that, I'm saying not all of them, but the transgender thing is, these guys see this shit, right? And they'll be transgender, and they turn that way because, okay, why be a man? Oh, everybody will even get into fights over, say, these women with the princess syndrome, and Mr. Good Looking ain't working as well for me. I'm greedy, I want more. That's for me, yeah, maybe I'll be transgender, and because you got those influencers there, you know what I mean, too. Not bashing anybody's choice or implying anybody does anything against the law. I'm just saying I'm not picking on the, if you will, anybody's personal choice, or nor do I ever endorse anything that's against the law. I'm just saying that some of them, you can tell by their personalities, that, oh, that's for me, yeah. So you got the frauds out there too. Everybody's on that spectrum. They're because it's like a type of envy. I says, "Oh, look what I'm getting," and being this, so, oh, that's for me. They be doing that shit too.